intro. It's somebody else's intro. Why am I in the wrong? I'm in the wrong studio completely. Oh well, we're doing this. I think. Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, I don't know why I ended up in the wrong studio, but I'm there. Oh well. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the launch party for our friend Fish Lee. Now, for some reason, I set this up completely in the wrong studio, and it's got all these other banners and stuff that somebody else made that I can't find where it is. Jeez, don't hide these from me, people. Okay, I got rid of that. All right. I am here with my friend Fish Lee, and we are here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to kick this thing off. What's up?
What is up, man?
You have a guest in the backstage that you brought along. I'm gonna bring him in. You can introduce him. Here we go.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is my buddy T.S. Luther. He is one of the most amazing young creative minds I have seen in comics creation. He's a great writer. He's come on and started helping me with all of my editing and stuff, and really helped me get my act together and getting organized and stuff. And he's a great creative mind, so I wanted to start bouncing my ideas off of him, and he really helped me hone this amazing knotted work of time travel nonsense and Alice into a beautiful tapestry. And when it came time to writing the script for Alice 2, I was like, hey, man, why don't you help me out on this? Because I know he's good. And he already knows the story inside and out because we've been talking about it. So he actually wrote the script for Alice issue 2, which is launching here in just a few minutes. Welcome,
Yay.
TS.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for all the kind words, too. And you're the first person to call me young in about 15 years, so I'll take it. I appreciate it. You guys can't see all the gray in my beard because of the light. It's a trick.
Mine's obvious.
But thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm about to cross that 50 threshold here in a few days. So, compared to me, you're just a young whippersnapper.
Right? Yeah, I guess I am doing pretty well. My kids think I'm really old. That's for sure. And Pops, thanks for having me on as well. I appreciate all the extra banners too. I like that we can get a little bit of extra add on here. That was pretty fun.
Well, I mean, for me, it's all about promotion. Okay, this is what I do. Okay, and when 5 years ago when I started doing this, it began with a launch party for somebody's campaign, right? And some of those people are still members of what we're doing today.
That's
actually,
awesome.
one of them is starting a show on the network in a couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
we'll be having more announcements coming up. It's blowing up. But this is why. Look, I don't have nothing to do if you guys aren't killing it with books, okay? If you're not out here putting out the stuff, then I'm over there watching TV. Okay, you guys give me something to do. You give me purpose. So I need you to keep making cool stuff, guys.
And see, and that's just it. That's the thing that I keep screaming is, what's up, Kyron? Good to see you, man. Is we don't just need writers and artists in indie comics. We need people to help support. We need people that know about promotion. We need people that are organized. I can think of so many comic creators that could just really use help from somebody that could help keep stuff organized and keep things on time. I legit missed a con because I paid for it 8 months before and then forgot that it was coming and just freaking missed it because I'm not that organized.
Look, I get it, man.
Hey, Kyron.
It happens all the time. Somebody will hit me up. Hey, Pops, can we do a countdown or something? And they'll do it while I'm on a show, and they'll ask me in the chat, right? Hey, Pops, I got a countdown coming up. You got me? And okay, cool. And totally forget about it.
Yep.
Because they hit me up during a show, and then they never got with me in social media chats or anything so we could solidify anything. And then they come at me the day before. Hey, Pops, we still good for tomorrow? Huh? I'm looking at my calendar and I'm looking at previous conversation with them. And I'm like, I'm not seeing this.
Better
Oh,
yet, they hit you up 5 minutes before with the, hey, we're ready to go live, right? Huh? What? Where? When? Who? Said what now?
Yep.
hey, I have set up some shows in record time like that, where I just totally forgot about it. And they come to me like right before the show. You ready? Huh? Oh, I'm on StreamYard. I'm setting up a show. Sometimes it's funny because like Dan Sen was talking to me yesterday about doing a countdown for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he got done talking and we solidified time and date, I was hitting the button. Bam, it was set up. And as soon as he was like, yeah, okay, this time, this day, like 10 seconds later, I was sending him back the link to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, you're fast, Pops. No, I was setting that up the whole time we were talking.
I appreciate that, Johnny on the spot, man. That's my thing. If I don't do it right now or write it down right now and like put it on my board, it's gone. You can forget that I ever even heard it. And oh, I'm so bad about missing things. I've got to write everything down now.
Well, that's like this industry so much, like just the arts, whether you're in making it or talking about it, it's all hurry up and wait. And then when it comes up, it's like, you better be able to go now. Do you remember that thing that you said 6 months ago? How about those 9 projects that you needed to agree to so that you could pay rent in 2 years? Like, because it all comes up. That's what's going on with me right now is Fish messaged me this morning. Hey man, you coming on the live stream? I'm like, there's a chance that we already talked about this and I was supposed to know about this. There's a chance that Fish didn't tell me, but it doesn't matter because it's like I have to say yes because that's the job, right? Like we got to go do this. Also, any chance I get to hang out with cool people, I'm gonna do it. But like I have like 6 other projects that all I had agreed to like a year ago that all were due this month. And when I say this month, I mean May 1st, and today's the 6th, as I'm trying to hustle and hand them off to people. Because that's the job, man. If you want to work, it's an embarrassment of riches, but it's not easy to get them all into your cart. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot, but it is awesome though. It's the coolest job ever, right? You get to talk about comics. Man. We get to make comic books. Like it's rad.
I literally get to sit around drawing muscle men beating each other up in their underwear all day long. Like I just was working on a book that I'm almost finished with. About it's got a freaking super golden retriever in it and a giant freaking kraken made out of hatchback sedans. The hatchback, it is so freaking nuts. It's got a super pigeon. It's got all kinds of awesome stuff in it. It's ridiculous that I get to do this for a living. And
there's so much of it. Like I love seeing how much that we're all been getting work because the amount of times that I'll see my name now pop up on a project, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm doing that. I forgot about that. Yesterday, I got notified of a Kickstarter going live, and I'm scrolling through it, and Fish's name is on it. And I'm like, I think he sent me a picture of this like 2 years ago that this project was happening. It's finally coming to fruition. And it is really cool to see because I remember probably about 4 years ago now of like begging people to look at a script that I wrote, of like begging people, hey, can you help introduce me to an artist or something? And now we have so much like work going on, so many projects that I'm like, I can't even keep track of the stuff that I'm doing myself, let alone the stuff that Fish is doing too, which is almost impossible. The dude does 400 books a month.
I keep forgetting, like every time I go back and recount, I'm like, oh crap, yeah, I did that book, and oh yeah, I did like a short story for that book, and I did that, and then my number jumps up again and again. Like Alice 2 makes 115 books I've worked on in just like 6 years now.
And you only count like some of them, right? You only count ones that you do the.
Oh yeah, I don't count like everything that like I did a cover for or something, because like that would be ridiculous, or everything that I did a double page spread for or something like that would be I couldn't even count.
Question someday, bro.
Definitely
the answer to a trivia question. How many things did Fish Lee have his hands in over his career?
Oh man, like the other year,
83.
I don't remember what last year's was, but I remember the year before I had done like 347 paid pages that year on different stuff.
You see, it's all
Yeah.
action. I got to say hi to our people over on Pilled. We're broadcasting right now to Pilled.net. Matt, I see you over there. Look, when I don't have a co-host, it is impossible for me to keep up with the chats on every social platform. So sorry if I'm a little late, but I got you. I see you guys over there. Rumble, we see you. Look, Deepak. Deepak is the creator of the Madness website, the Meg TV. She's the one that makes that whole thing pop. And with the amount of changes and the amount of stuff we throw at her weekly, she is like on time, yo. It's like I'll send her something and no, in no time the fix or edit or whatever on the website is done. And she's smoking. So
See, those are the people you need to have in your corner. People know what they're doing, can get it done. I'm lucky if I update my website once a year. I'm lucky.
It's so hard because like you have to wear every single hat. Not like you gotta wear a lot of hats. You gotta wear every single one. Even like when you team up with somebody, it's like me and Fish help each other out a lot on a ton of different things, but we still can't do everything for both of us each time, to the point where like some of the stuff that Fish has me help out with, I have to ask somebody else to help me out with because I'm like, well, I gotta help Fish with his thing, so I gotta have somebody help me with that thing, and I know that person is about to hire somebody else to help him with the thing that Fish could probably help him with, but you know, like there's so much stuff going on that we can't all keep up with it. So when Fish asked me, he's like, hey, would you help me write Alice too? I'm like, I would love to. How? I've never written anything for somebody else like that. I'm like, I don't know what else to do. So like it's an honor also, but also it's super scary that you brought me on. You're like, yeah, you're gonna write this baby of mine, the one that I've been putting off for 30 years, and I write all these other things.
I've been ruminating over. I've been adding to. I've been letting it grow for 30 years. But I've also been waiting for the right opportunity, because like 30 years ago, when I approached the local newspaper about printing it on their presses just in black and white, and they wanted 10 grand for like a 5,000 print run. And, you know, to a young man 30 years ago, you know, starting a family, 10 grand might as well have been $10 million. And there was no crowdfunding. There was no Kickstarters or anything back then. So like that was a non-starter. And honestly, I'm glad that book didn't get published, because I was 20 years old and I was trying to show what a grown-up I was. And so I made it as nasty and filthy and disgusting as I possibly could, because that's what grown-ups do. And I had to grow up before I realized that's not the way grown-ups talk and act. But man, it was rough. I'm glad there's only one copy of that lost in the wilderness somewhere that I don't have my hands on. But
man, I really want that. Now, see, you got hush. Look, I do want to say, I'm going to let you share the screen so that when you're scrolling through the campaign, you're talking about what's actually there. I'm not stumbling around trying to keep up with you, or you're not scroll up, scroll down. You know what I mean? So you have control of it. But also, it's like we are like 15 minutes away from the launch. So I dropped this link over here in the chat, everybody. Y'all go sign up real quick, bump that number up. But then I also wanted to say, this guy right here, if you look next to your head, Fish, you see that big logo that says Critical Blast right there next to your head? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right there. I see it.
That's our boy RJ in the chat right there. He does
awesome.
fulfillment. He does publishing. He does all the stuff to help you so that you can just keep on arting. If you're one of them people that likes to just go from one project to the next and not worry about bagging and boarding and all that stuff, RJ has a premier fulfillment service for crowdfunding. He handles all of it for you. It is amazing. Yeah, that guy right there. I've been following him. You know, we've been friends, and I've been promoting what he does for a long time. He promotes what I do. But he has handled, you know, like a lot of campaigns for people. I ain't never had anybody go, Pops, that RJ dude sucks, man. I ain't never had, on either side of the equation, I've never had a creator come to me and say they didn't like the service they got from him. And I've never had a fan go, man, I got a box from RJ and it was all screwed up. No, nothing. It's always premier. So for all you out there, if you're looking for somebody to handle your fulfillments, you can go right back to work That's your guy.
See, that's nice because boy, that's a thing. Like TS was saying, when you're having to do it all by yourself, like that time that it takes out there promoting is time
Mhm.
that I can't get books done. The time that I'm packing and shipping and placing orders and doing all that stuff is time that I'm not making new pages for new books,
Yeah,
which
I have
I
a lot.
still get a lot of books out, but
I got a lot
man,
of friends that were in that boat where they work all day, regular job. They come home, they art for a few hours, and then they got 15 minutes of social media before they go to bed.
Yep.
And it's
mhm.
like they're not getting out, getting seen. They don't have time to do the marketing part of it. And that was like, well, gee, I got nothing but time. I got internet. I can be that guy. And I started promoting people in indie comics.
We get a lot of crap, me and Fish specifically, because we take breaks from social media because we gotta go make the books. And
Mhm.
like the people, we have fans that follow us on social media respectively that only follow us on social media. They don't always check out every book that we write or draw. And they're like, hey, how come you haven't been talking about this on TikTok, or how come you haven't been posting on YouTube? And it's like, well, I gotta go make the donuts, man. Like that's
Yeah,
the main
I
thing I do.
I can't be called fastest pen in indie comics if I'm not actually making comics.
Right,
So
right.
like I've gotta take breaks sometimes to catch up and get stuff done because like when it's campaign time, you got to be, hey, it's your Uncle Fish, da da da. You got to be on all the shows. You got to be hustling. You got to be doing, but that's time that I'm not actually drawing pages and stuff.
What
So
cracks me up that they'll be like, "How come you're not on social media?" Because I'm working. I gotta work. I gotta do the work. Have something to talk about, guys. I gotta
hmm
have something to talk about before I can come talk to y'all.
And
Right?
like it comes up, like I got asked, like, how did you end up writing Alice? Like, how did that work? And I was like, well, I've been friends with Fish now for a while, and like we've been talking back and forth. They're like, yeah, but we don't see you on social media. I'm like, because I'm writing Alice, like because I'm writing all
because
this
I'm
stuff.
working.
Like that's how I get the gigs, because they're like, how do you do it? We just write our own series. How do you write Alice and write your own stuff? And I'm like, well, I went and wrote 100 things while everyone else was on social media, and I messaged Fish. I was like, let me help you with stuff, and he goes, no, you're gonna write my premiere story that I don't want to write it anymore. I want you to do it. Don't screw it up. So like that takes a lot of effort. That takes a lot of brain power.
That might be
Um,
a little bit of revisionist history, but
that's
yeah.
exactly how it happened, verbatim. And I won't say what kind of booby traps he set up, so I'm not allowed to leave my room until I get him the next script. But like, he got serious real quick.
Hey, that's not as bad as Doc. He keeps his colorist trapped in his basement and feeds her like lint and stuff out of his pocket through the vent in the floor.
I think that's what Fish does for his flatter, because he does color
Oh,
the stuff himself. But
I keep her well fed, well taken care of. I treat her like a princess. Like I treat her like that cute young girl you're trying to date. Like I take good care of her. She gets the absolute best because I need her to do a good job so that I look good when I come back to color it.
it is so
And
fascinating because you do like everything yourself, and this year has been like such a big moment for you, kind of branching out and tossing more work to other people for your projects, and like obviously writing Alice #2, that one, but also it's like I see you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I hire a flatter for all of these little gigs that I'm doing. Yeah, I'm gonna let my son color this project that I'm doing. Like, has that been like a big change for you? Has that been difficult? Because you coming
oh
on and like
man,
saying, hey, I want you to write Alice so it can be what I want it to be, like that's got to be nerve-wracking for you, right?
it's challenging, but the more I thought I would be really bad at this aspect. I thought because I'm used to doing everything myself, all by myself, if it came time to working with a team, I would be really bad at it. And I'd be like, no, you did it wrong. No, that's not supposed to be that color. And like, I hired a colorist on Green Zone and for the second book just to see if it would speed me up because I was doing other paid projects at the same time for clients. And I was trying to get Green Zone out every other month at the time. And so I'm like, all right, let me hire somebody to see if it'll work. And there was one point where I had like seen this lady's bathrobe as like red and he made it like orange or something like that. And in my head, I was like, but you colored it wrong. When I drew the black lines on white paper, I knew this was going to be a red bathrobe. And how did you not see that? And he made it a different color. But when I looked at it, I was like, you know what? It looks fine. It tells the story. The page looks good. Let it
It
go.
works. Yeah,
And
it works,
Right.
right? Yeah.
And that helped me start to see. And then he took some things in some different directions than I would have, and it was really beautiful. And it got me a little more comfortable. And I make sure I work with good people. Like my son's really talented, so when he colored half of Alice for me for the first issue, it looks just like I did it. He did a really good job of blending it in. And like with you, we've worked on enough stuff together. I've working on stuff that you've written. You've helped edit my stuff. I've read so much of your stuff. I know you know what you're talking about. And we've talked about the world enough back and forth that you know it almost as well as I know it. And so I had no problem with like, okay, we need to get from here to here. Take it, go nuts with it. Cause, you know, I know you're doing a good job, and it's still my world. It's still my story. It's still my creations. It's still based on all the stuff and growing and learning and stuff that I've done over my life. Like it's still got me all through it, but there's no reason I can't let other people in and have fun with my toys, because that's the cool part about collaborating. Like
Yes.
I wouldn't have laughed out loud at one of the jokes in here if TS hadn't written it. I wouldn't have laughed as loud at it if I had written it myself. And I cackle every time I get to that page. So,
And there's so much heart like getting to team up with you on it, because like I've been a dad now for almost 10 years. I love my kids, but there's such an like intimacy in the story because you've been ruminating on this father-son dynamic in the book for 30 years, and then you had your own kids, and like there's so many little touches in that you add, that even though like I'm writing the script, there's still so much of it that it's your story, and that it takes so much pressure off me sometimes, because I go, hey, I think like there's this one scene I'm like, I think there needs to be a map in this scene. I think it'd be cool if we had this map. And you send back the most gorgeous, thought out map I've ever seen ever in my life. And you're like, yeah, you think maybe we could sell this? I'm like, sell this? I want to buy this. Like, yes, we can sell this. This needs to be in every book. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that's because this is still your world. And I feel like being able to team up with somebody, we can let ourselves be like do the best thing that we're supposed to be doing, instead of having to be stretched thin and go, well, I also got to write it, and I also got to draw, and I also got to do this. For me, it's like I get to do the thing that I'm good at, which is writing scripts, and you get to dream like so much cool stuff, to the point where like you'll toss me a little moment and I'm like, perfect, I can add that in here, here, and here, and it makes it so cool. To like when I talk about Alice, people make it sound like, when I tell people about it, they're like, it sounds like it's not your story. I'm like, it's our story, like, but Fish got to dream it up, and then I just get to write the silly jokes in it, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's really neat. And then when you come up with cool ideas for little bits and little moments, that inspires me to ideas. And then when I'm drawing it, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what if I stuck this in the background? Or what if I put it in this location? Or what if, and just things that I stick in the background just to fill a spot for a minute is like, oh, wait a minute, if that's that, then this would happen. And and it makes it so much more interesting. But that's the thing that I've learned working on clients' books, is how much fun the collaborative process is, now that I'm not just stuck in a world by myself, having to do it all by myself. Now that we have the internet, we can meet people all over the place and work with a flatter in the Philippines, and I can work with clients from Canada and
Right.
Ireland and all over the world to work on books. It's just really, it's made my world grow so much, and it's made everything so much richer, and I wouldn't be able to have this if it wasn't for all this, and for all of y'all. So thank you all, and thank you everybody that's watching, everybody that's hanging out. We've got a couple of minutes left. If you want to go follow the page now, we can unlock another pre-launch reward. It was an idea I had to help get followers on the pre-launch page, and honestly, this is probably the most followers I've had so far.
You didn't even follow yourself. Shame on you.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't want to let me follow myself. But we did unlock the free 2 1/4 inch button refrigerator magnet. The actual Alice one is on my refrigerator still, but this is one from Night Watch. They come out really cool, and they've got a really nice magnet on the back of it, and they stick well. It was one of my favorite rewards I got from somebody else's campaign. I was like, I'm doing that because it's on my fridge every day, and I see that COVID cop magnet every day as I'm going to, fix my coffee or whatever. And I'm like,
I have 3 filing cabinets full of comics.
Yep.
Right. and they are covered with magnets and stickers from indie comics. I have a place for them, right? The stickers, the magnets, I got a spot for them. It's not like it's something that I tell people, you got to have these in your campaign. But if they're there, I got a spot for them, Yeah, refrigerator, somewhere where you see them all the time. They're always in your face. What's up, Chris Brown? What's happening?
What's going on?
What is up, man? Yeah, I was talking with my son. I was talking with everybody about I really wanted to do a series of coins for Alice. And
Right.
TS was really trying to talk me out of doing coins because we both know a guy that like got really burnt on doing very expensive coins
Right.
that he can't unload
That
now.
nobody ordered. Yeah.
And he had to order a lot of them, and I had found ways to bring the price down, and TS was still really trying to talk me out of it, and I was still really trying to decide to do it, and I was about to spend the money to order them ahead of time so I could show them off on the campaign, and nothing TS could do would talk me out of it, and I was talking to my son about it, and I was mentioning, that I could get them as coins, or I could even get them as like pins that you could stick on your jacket or something. And then my son said, well, if you get them as coins, people are going to look at them for 5 minutes and then they're going to put them in a drawer and forget about them. And I was like, dang, if TS had said that 3 weeks ago, I would have stopped thinking about this.
I'm so much more eloquent in the scripts than I am when I'm trying to talk you out of spending money. Like I need to work it out.
But there are people, okay, like Brian Polito makes the Lady Death Challenge coins, right?
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Okay. And if you run into somebody that you know is a fan of Polito and you're like, hey, you got your coin on you, and they don't, they got to buy you a drink. You see? So as long as you purpose them correctly, and your fans understand, that there's a little something extra that goes along with this, you don't want to leave it in a drawer at home when you go to the con because you might end up buying people drinks all day.
And I think that's like that's the difference too. A lot of times, like I come at Fish with this idea of like where I'm at, which is like I write a lot of people's other stuff. I have my own series, but I'm still newer than Fish. Fish has so many more fans that are Mr. Fish fans. So when I'll say something, I'm like, no, don't do that. No one's gonna want that. And he goes, well, I have 150 people that paid for it last time. So like that's something that I try to keep in mind. I'm like, Fish knows his fans. If his fans want a coin, let's do that. The problem is if they want a coin, it costs thousands of dollars to get them that coin. And so my immediate brain goes, no, don't buy the coins. Like we can make so many more books with that money. Like don't do it. Like think about all of the checks that you can pay me if you don't buy coins.
We got
Won't you think of the writers, please?
We got like a half a minute till 10. I'm gonna play this trailer real quick, and then you can hit launch while we're playing the trailer. How about that?
All righty, we'll do it.
All right, you guys ready? It's 10 a.m. Here, launch time.
Beyond the world we know is a place where reality bends and time stands still. A place where legends, fairy tales, and nightmares are real. A world where legends are born and destinies collide. Alice has spent her life lost in an interdimensional rift known as Wonderland, and it forged her into a deadly bounty hunter. With her ancient clockwork guardian Big Ten by her side, they hunt the things that stalk the shadows of Wonderland. Alice Lost in Wonderland, issues 1 and 2 launch May 6 on Kickstarter. Follow along at GoMrFish.com.
And we are live.
We are live with Alice Lost in Wonderland, issues 1 and 2. I got to get my mouse on the right screen because I got too many screens going on here. We have got the intro here. Alice is lost in a sci-fi fantasy world. This is Alice has spent her whole life lost in this interdimensional rift called Wonderland. So all of the public domain characters you have ever heard of are all aliens and ghosts and robots and things from other dimensions that are crashing in together. We have all of these weird landscapes and stuff where bits of other worlds are crashing into this interdimensional rift. These are the Tower Islands here. Where she wakes up in the first book, and she has the broken hilt of the Vorpal sword on her side that lets her cut holes in reality through time and space and go wherever she wants to go. The only place she hasn't managed to be able to find yet is her way back home to where she came from originally. So she's spent her life here lost. Now she's the baddest bounty hunter in Wonderland. She's got the Tin Man, or Big Ten as she calls him, by her side. Um, they go on all kinds of adventures. They hunt the things that go bump in the night, all of the scary things from public domain. And like on one of the boards, you see bounties for everything from the Mad Hatter to Frankenstein to Bigfoot to all kinds of stuff.
Is Crom on that? Is Crom on that board?
Not yet. Not yet. Might need to be.
Look, somebody's going to catch him eventually, right?
Eventually got to. In the first issue, she finds out that the cobbler, who is this interdimensional deal broker, and his elves are all these creepy little finger spider things all over the place that build whatever he needs to build. He's offering up a bounty for the White Rabbit, the guy that brought her to Wonderland in the first place. And so she goes to the cobbler shop. This is the scene of the White Rabbit picking up Alice in the beginning. He's on the run from some evil soldiers. He grabs her to try and save her life. They go running through all these dimensions. By the time he saves the day, he can't find the way to get her back home. So instead, he takes her to Wonderland and does his best to try and raise her as good as he can. Doesn't really, hey, Katie, doesn't do the best job. Like he tries not to make the same mistakes his grandma did raising him, makes all new mistakes. And, you know, you can do the best you try and still have your kids come out hating you. And so, you know, that's part of what this is. She ends up through the cobbler bound in this blood contract that she has to hunt down the White Rabbit and deliver his head to the Queen of Broken Hearts in Glass City, who is this warlord that, you know, rules most of Wonderland. And she has standing orders that Alice and Big Ten are to be killed on sight. So she has to hunt down her adopted dad, deliver him to the Queen of Hearts, who's sworn to kill her on sight. You know, how is she going to pull this off? How is she going to survive? You've got to tune in and follow the adventure and see. Like TS alluded to earlier, this is a story I've literally been working on for 30 years. And like it started out in the beginning just as like a power fantasy of like, what would you do if you had a sword that could let you go anywhere? If you had a TARDIS in your hand that could let you go anywhere, anytime, what would you do? Like, would you be a hero? Would you try and save the day? Or would you be more selfish and be out for yourself? You know, it's one of the things I've always loved about Conan is he's not a hero. He's not a villain. He's out for Conan. That's all he cares about. And I kind of like that. And so it started out like that, but over the years, as I grew and I aged and I went through all these experiences and, you know, ended up adopting kids and having kids and becoming a father and all this stuff and realizing the different people we are at different stages in our life, the story got a lot richer. And like who you are when you're a brash kid and can go anywhere and do anything and don't have any responsibilities, who you are when you're trying to be a parent, how you can be a hero or a villain to different people in the same world. You know, it became about all this stuff. It became about generational trauma. It became about trying your best to be a good parent and still making mistakes, and, you know, doing your best and still having your kids grow up to hate you. And now eventually, you know, Alice is a bounty hunter and she's trying to hunt down her dad. And we'll see how it goes. These are some pages here from this is pages from issue 1, and where we see Cheshire, who's a interdimensional yokai who sets her on the trail to hunt down the cobbler and get bound into this contract. There's pages here of White Rabbit when he first picks her up and they end up on the run. And here it is when she's younger and they're camping out, and you know, it's just I just love it. Got her dressed as a pirate from Neverland. She's thinking this is all fun and games and adventure. And playing with her little wooden sword and has the drop on White Rabbit, and then he takes it from her and catches her and is explaining to her why we don't go here and here on the map because it's dangerous, and then tells them stories about like we can't just go rob the Emerald City even though they're rich in the Emerald City. We can't just go do that because there's no magic, doesn't work there, and the sword won't work if we go there, and we're going to get trapped, and if we do that, the dwarves are going to have us in a mining camp for the rest of our lives until we're old and gray. And then
Sarah, this is the great one to get into if you like sci-fi, because all the stuff that Fish is saying, this is just us playing with action figures sometimes.
Oh,
it's like me and Fish, we're on a call, and it's like, hey, what if we like toss like Oz stuff in there too?
This
Yep,
is
of
mixing
course,
all the action figures together.
Yeah.
This is the G.I. Joe and the He-Man and the Star Wars and the everything.
We dumped the whole box out, and so like we'll say something randomly, and it's like, yep, that's in there now. Yep, she's gonna go to Emerald City. That's gonna be a thing, so we can throw in all the Wizard of Oz stuff. And then randomly, Fish will hit me with, "Hey, what if we had this really good teaching moment between a father and his daughter?" And so it's like, so while we're bashing action figures together, it's like you don't need to know any of the rules, the lore. You don't have to stress about it because we also want to make you cry real bad as you're reading it. So like, there's something in there for everybody on top of all of the magical stuff you can think of. So you don't have to stress about not knowing sci-fi or fantasy. This is the one to jump into.
I'm figuring I'm not going to have to ask a whole lot of questions during this launch, but check it out. I got one. And Fish, I got to know, do you hear Grace Slick singing when you're writing this?
No, you would be surprised at what I hear singing when I'm working on this stuff because
the whole time you guys have been
playlist
talking, all I got in the background is Grace Slick singing White Rabbit. It's right. I just keep hearing her in the background of my head, right? While you guys talk about this. That's why I had to ask.
Is that the singer from Jefferson Airplane? Forgive me. I'm 30.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Just making
White
sure.
Rabbit.
Yes. I do listen to Jefferson Airplane when I write this, for the record. I mean, it's obviously, the Alice in Wonderland connection between all of those, but also it's just such the vibe that I go for is like, there's a lot of 60s references in there. There's a lot of that stuff, like the psychedelic nature of Alice Lost in Wonderland. Like we literally had to have a whole call because we're like, hey, are we throwing in enough crazy crap in here? Like, is there enough weird, timey-wimey stuff in here? The answer was no. So we immediately started talking about like, okay, we need a T-Rex and a top hat, and we need more. We need people getting like messed up on mushrooms, and like we need more of it. And that is because Fish is throwing out more ideas, and I'm listening to Jefferson Airplane, not because we're doing mushrooms. For the record, we're pretty sober.
I'm just gonna say, it's like it has been known for mushrooms to fall around in the madness. It has been known. Crom has been drawn sitting on mushrooms. It's it's a regular theme around here. So
yeah, like
this fits right in.
As we were, as I was working on this story, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to set this in this mushroom forest because it ties in with Alice. And then in the script, there was a pheasant or something being roasted. And I was like,
I think that's the word I said. I said pheasant or something.
And I was like, you could just stick a caterpillar on there and that'd be fine. Dude, and there was this scene where, where Rabbit is telling her this scary story, and she was imagining, them chained up in a dwarven prison for trying to break into the Emerald City. And I was like, well, wait a minute. If the caterpillars are feeding on the mushrooms and you eat the caterpillar, you're probably going to get a bit of a buzz. So it definitely, suddenly I was like, this should be a little more distorted and psychedelic.
Yes.
So,
It just adds so much to it. And Sarah, thank you so much. And like I will say, as much as we throw out lots of random stuff and the action figures are banging up each other, the reason why Fish brought me on to help script is because that's the thing that I do is I want to know everything about your world. I want to know every rule, every moment, every piece of lore. And I will do the crazy string theory, Charlie from It's Always Sunny, with like all of the different things connecting. That is the thing that I do with other people's worlds. So like all of the lore is still thought out. As much as it gets silly, as much as it gets crazy, we have so many rules and so many moments that we've all mapped out because it's a time travel story. So you have to make everything connect in weird ways. Like I watch Back to the Future on loop, we make sure it all works out. So it is,
and there has to be like cause and effect with the time travel, and a lot like things you see in later episodes of like Doctor Who. Like there's going to be places where you meet people out of order and stuff, and you meet somebody who's mad at you for something that you haven't done yet, and and you've got to figure out, or you're like, wait a minute, I already made this up to you. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't make it up to you yet. For you, I made it up to you
To
later.
you in the
Okay,
future from the past.
trust me, I make it up to you. Like like, and that makes where you can go and what you can do so much more challenging. And it makes it so fun. I love the time travel aspect of
And
it all.
it also ties into all of the intricate, like, heartfelt stuff too, because it ties into like what you were saying about being a parent and being a different person to your kids when they're younger versus when they're older, and making different mistakes. And when we get to see our characters see their mistakes in real time at different phases in their life from different angles, and we really
Mhm.
get to explore that not just trauma, but just like what it means to you as you grow up, and whether you learn something from it or if it causes problems. And to the point where even the stuff that I do write, like normally I don't like tear up on my own stuff, but even the stuff I do write, because of how much it comes from your brain and us being parents, I cry whether I'm reading this book, whether I'm writing this book, whether it's a thing that we haven't written yet and we're just tossing out the ideas. So in 1 second we're smashing action figures against each other, and the next second I'm like, wow, I need to go hug my kids.
Mhm.
Like it's so intricate. I love it, man.
Oh yeah. And that's one of the things I love about it, is getting to see Rabbit learn a lesson when he's young, and then try and apply that lesson, and then see Alice maybe takes that the wrong direction and has the wrong reaction to it. And like, oh man, because I'm at the point now where most of my kids are grown and starting to have families of their own, and and luckily I have good relationships with all my kids, and we talk, and I'm involved in their lives and stuff now, which I wasn't sure was going to happen from my relationship with my dad. And so I'm really glad things are as good as they are. But still, like, I have to like acknowledge that I made mistakes along the way too, and trying to do my best not to make the mistakes my dad did. I made all new mistakes, and
Right.
it's
Luckily,
and I've
none of them
seen
are
other
hunting
friends
you
that
down
didn't go
through
as good.
space and time with a magical sword.
So far, fingers crossed, so far nobody is. I've
Yet.
got my sword ready. I will run if they come after me.
There will be no patricide here. It will not happen.
That's the rules for being on Pops. That no one
Mhm.
dies on stream. That is one of the things I heard.
Afterwards, once the stream's over, it's all fair game. But right now, it's a safe space.
I'm the only one that's ever been blown away on my network, and it was for Lori's short film for
Oh.
Path of the Pale Rider. I became a zombie that day. I got shot right here in my studio.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was amazing, dude. She puts together such great short films, right?
Mhm.
And you don't notice it unless you're really paying attention, but the little laptop on her counter during the short film has a little clip of me and Doc where we're doing his show, right?
Oh, that's so cool.
And I get blown away. And, you can see the muzzle flash and everything. I fly backwards, right? And I'm out of the screen. But
That
unless
is
you're
more
looking
like-
at that little screen in the video, you'd never see it.
I love those little things though. Like we throw in so many Easter eggs to the point where like sometimes Fish will message me and you'll go, "Hey, no one will see this. Like even the fans of the fans, like the diehard people, are not going to notice this. So I want to tell you, I put this character from this story right here that no one will care about, but I need someone else to know that it's there. I love
Mhm.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Man, I'm so excited about this campaign. I'm so excited about all the different tiers and stuff. Like
Aw.
like TS said, the map came out so freaking cool.
Oh, it's so
I decided to release it as like desktop wallpaper. There's also like a poster you can get of it. If we get far enough in the stretch goals, I'm going to get a blanket made of it, because I really want a full size like blanket of this to wrap up on. And it's so neat because the paths are so crazy and winding, and maybe it goes off this way and becomes another road, and these different worlds that seem disconnected have the same road that go through them. And
I'm
fun
such
stuff.
a curmudgeon. Whenever Fish comes to me with an idea, I'm like, listen, money wise, we can't make this work. I'm such a miser. I say, like, we
Absolutely.
pinch the pennies. But it's such a good map. He came to me and he goes, I want to make blankets. I know it's a dumb idea. We shouldn't make blankets. They're not going to make any money. I said, you will make a blanket and you will send me a blanket because this is so cool. Like, I don't ask for much, but it's like the swag. Like, Fish sends me stuff and it's always so cool. And it's like, you don't have to send me a copy of the book. I'll buy a copy of the book. You will send me this poster, please. Like, I need this so bad. It was so cool when you said this to me because I mentioned it offhandedly in the script. I'm like, yeah, maybe they're looking at a map, like it's like a celestial map of all the places they'll go. Maybe we can foreshadow some things. And I thinking nothing of it. It's in the background of the panel. And
Thinking Fish will do it halfway. Yeah.
Right. But I should know better. I've sent him like in a script. I'm like, hey, there's a building, and he sent me full blueprint floor plans that we could build this building outside if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And he sends me back this map 2 days later, and I cried looking at it. And it's not even, like so many of the places on there are nonsense because they mean nothing yet. Right. And yet I know that they will. Yeah, right. Exactly. And it's so cool. I was so excited when you're going to add that, man.
Yeah. And also, I'm going to be recording read-along audio files for issue 1 and 2 because I know for a fact I've got a lot of followers and readers that are dyslexic and things like that. Like, it comes along with having Tourette's. A lot of us have a lot of other neurological issues on top of it. And like, I have one friend that I was talking to about the book, and he's like, oh man, I have looked at it so many times. I haven't read it yet, but I've looked at it like 6 times. And I was like, if I could do something that would make that easier for you to fully enjoy the story, why not just do that? And it's easy. And so that's part of the deluxe digital edition too, is you'll get the audio read-along files, and you'll get the STL files for the miniatures that we're releasing this time to go with it. These are bigatures, so I could paint them and show them on camera easier. But I got Alice and Big Ten made in miniature, and you'll get the STL files for the normal size little 30 millimeter minis of them that you can print yourself at home if you want to, and digital wallpapers and stuff for your phone, all that stuff. And then we've released a new t-shirt with this book of Alice. It's got just the logo on it. There's all the other t-shirts that we've done are available in the add-ons as well. This is the digital swag pack that has the whole digital library and the STL files. Well, you'll get Big Ten and Alice, and you'll get the Mighty Caw from my other series as a STL file. And then we get into the physical swag pack, where we get both of the little mini comics that are also written by TS, where we see where Alice meets Big Ten for the first time. And then you'll get the actual physical 3D printed minis of Alice and Big Ten. You'll get the special deluxe box. You'll get the map poster. You'll get the t-shirt, all of that stuff. And domestic U.S. shipping is included in all the prices, just so you know. So you're not going to get another like, oh, it's this much. Oh, wait a minute, there's an extra $10 for shipping. It's all included in the price. So I wanted to make that as easy as possible for everybody. And then, of course, we've got the ultimate swag pack, where you get the entire library, digital and physical, and you get the audio files, and you get all of the desktops, and you get the mini comics, and you get the poster, and you get the t-shirt, and you get all the STL files, and you get the physical printed 3D figures, the whole 9 yards. Everything's in there. And then we get the add-ons, which I absolutely love. And there is a build your own tier, so you could do that and just get the second issue of the mini comic if you want. Like, you could order that if that's what you want to do.
That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to that build your own tier. What if I, being who I am, have to have a first print of number 1?
Then you can absolutely get that.
Okay, it's on there somewhere. That's what I wanted to know. It's on there somewhere. Okay, cool. Because you know me, I'm a broke ass and probably can't buy them both. But I always got to have number 1. And
oh yeah, it's on there.
I try to make sure I get in while it's a first printing, because that way when they come back later and they go, man, that was horrible, I got to redo that comic, I have the first printing of it. You see what I'm saying? It's a collector thing, right?
Now, if you wanted to do that, and if you were interested, for you, alone. I have a couple of copies that I actually printed myself before I got the big print run done that, look great. I made them specifically for a Small Press Expo in Maryland last year. So I would have a couple of copies in before the main print run came in. And I think I still have a couple of those left. So like if you wanted the first of the first,
That's
I
it.
would send you one.
Yeah, your Ashcan copies are gorgeous. It makes me look so bad because like I do Ashcan copies off my printer, and I got a good printer, and like still, it's like you can tell I stapled these on the desk where I wrote them, and like yours come out and like this is an official comic. We should just be printing them ourselves. They take like 9 hours for Fish to do all of the thing. That's why he doesn't do it. But it was very, very impressive to see them on the table. Like, oh yeah, it's just as good as the other ones.
And I just want all Fish's fans to know I am poking him and prodding him about bringing a show to the network. So, just so y'all know, I am,
Oh, he's been on it. Let me tell you, he's been on it, and I've been thinking about it. I want to make sure I don't overpromise what my nervous system will let me do.
It's always under promise and over perform, bro. Always.
See, that's my thing.
You come at me. I could do maybe a monthly show. And then you do whatever you want, right? You see what I'm saying? It's like, get in. That's all.
That's not a bad idea. We did acrylic figures of Alice and Big Ten for the first go around, and they're double-sided, so you can see.
Let me begin that. There you go.
See if I can get the shine off of it. So you've got the beautiful Alice there, and then you got all that cake in the back, and then you got the beautiful Big Ten, and you got that little metal badonkadonk back there. We did acrylic figures of them for the first campaign, and so we've got one of Rabbit and Alice when she's young, when he first picks her up and takes her to Wonderland. That's the new released one for this campaign. And then, like I said, there's the miniatures of Big Ten and Alice. You can get just the STL files if you have a 3D printer you want to print at home, or you can order physical copies, which I really enjoyed trying to paint and realized how rusty I am after all these years. One of my favorite add-ons is the delayed shipping add-on, because like I've got a couple of backers that back absolutely everything, get every single book, every poster, every add-on, but like shipping that to say Singapore is really expensive. But so for $1 after the campaign's over and after Kickstarter releases the funds, I'll refund your shipping costs, and I will store your rewards safely and securely until the next campaign, and then ship it all out together. Or if you want to delay it for the next campaign, we can do that, because like honestly, like for Singapore, let's say it's the same thing if I'm sending 1 pound or 3 pounds of books. It costs exactly the same. Right. So storing that up for a few campaigns and doing it at the end of the year is great. If you ever change your mind, just contact me and we'll arrange shipping and get it shipped right out to you. But
we have a friend in the UK, Carrie, that buys books, and a lot of people don't do international shipping, and she still wants to get it, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
She's like, Pops, if I order this and send it to you, can you ship it to me? And I'm like, sure. So what we do is we wait till she's got 3, 4, 5 different campaigns that she backed. They all send the stuff to me, and I put it in one box and send it to her. And it saved her about $150 on shipping.
Yeah, I just shipped something. I had a fan buy something in the UK. They're on an island, and it cost me $26, and it didn't even make it. I had to send it again. Like, I've now spent like $60 sending this package, and I'm like, okay, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah, Dee sent 2 copies of Kill Stand to Carrie in the UK, and she did not get either one.
Right?
Right. So he sent me one, and I'm just gonna put all this stuff in one big box. I got Lori's book for her coming, and Chris sent a book for her. It's like she backs a lot of people, but I'm trying to help her with that, $30 shipping on every damn thing you buy, right?
And I copy Fish on all of his ideas. Like the delayed shipping was such a good one. The build your own tier, because
I totally stole that from somebody else too.
Totally.
Like, I saw it on, I don't know if it was, oh man, it was one of the David's campaigns or something, or one of the Johns, I can't remember, but I saw it as an add-on on theirs, and I was like, oh, that's absolutely brilliant. I'm taking that. And it's been a big hit so far, and I've even had like people in America do it, which surprised me. But like, okay, sure, man, I'll give you that money back. And
but sometimes they just want to wait. Sometimes they want to get the whole thing
both at the
because
same time.
And like us being indies, it's hard for us to get to a volume every single time. Like the trade paperback collections, it takes us a while to get there. And I've had fans that go, "I want to support you in the meantime. I don't want to read it until I have 5 issues." And like the delayed thing has been such a boon because I didn't know that market even existed for people who were willing to wait for us to get there.
Oh yeah. As long as you're somebody who puts out books on the regular, people are willing to wait and get them all at once and save on shipping. It's ridiculous.
Now, if you're one of those like, "Oh yeah, I did a campaign 2 years ago and it still hasn't shipped out," well, maybe that's not the guy you trust with that.
That's not the delay we're looking for.
Yeah, that's not me. Like I said, this is my 115th book in 6 years, and so far as I know, they've all been delivered. And I can't think of anything. A couple of them got delayed, and I don't work with those clients anymore. But everything has gotten shipped out.
We have a guest backstage.
Uh-oh.
You may know her alter ego.
I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
Hey! It is one of my favorite Loris in the world. How are you doing?
Good morning. I decided to pop in because I can. And I heard there was a party happening, so I wanted to come check it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I'm so glad to see you. You seriously impressed me with the stuff you're doing and have challenged me to up my game and do a better job. And I appreciate having you in my circle, and I'm keeping you close by.
Nice to meet you. You make my job so hard because you do awesome stuff. And then Fish goes, "Now, RTS, we got to figure out how to do this." And I go, I just write the silly scripts. I don't know how to do anything that they're doing. It's all cool stuff.
Okay, look, I need to get a laser cutter now.
Yeah. I was gonna show off some stuff during the brew. I'll show it off during the brew. I'm not gonna show it off during your party. But I got a bunch of cool stuff I wanted to show off. Sorry, TS, you're in trouble.
We'll just have to wait till the top of the hour and watch her show too.
Absolutely.
How about that?
And we've also got commissions and stuff that you can get and pinups that I will do for you on live stream and send you the time-lapse video and all that stuff. And this time I'm offering original line art sketches, 11 by 17 sketches like this Wonder Woman I did here.
Ooh, hold up. Let me put that back up there. Oh yeah.
Woo!
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some of these laying around from the Mogamel SketchUp show, but I will draw whatever you want, whatever character you like, So that's available as well if you want that. And as far as the printing, I am printing this one at Arkansas Graphics, which is like an hour down the road away from my house. So it's proudly printed in the USA, and there won't be any long shipping delays. Once the money's released, the files are going to be sent and it's going to get printed, and they're actually saying they're going to deliver it to my door. So that's awesome. And then get shipped out to everybody. So hopefully that's really going to cut down the turnaround time. Though the last time I got it out like with exactly a month, and that was awesome. So as long as nothing crazy happens, there's the team, there's me, the creator and the illustrator and publisher, there's old T.S. Luther, the writer and the editor, and there's my son Bear Lee, who colored half of issue 1 for me, and if I had a little extra money, I'd have him.
I got another question. Does the bear eat the fish?
Nope.
Nope, not yet, huh? All right, cool.
Nope.
Keep that top spot then.
And then there is my flatter, Shane Kui from the Philippines, who I dearly love and was busting her butt to get stuff done for me quickly. And that is the campaign. It is awesome. I'm excited about it. I am having so much fun drawing this story and getting to show all of the cool different aspects of Alice's life, like when she's a kid and she dearly loves Rabbit, and and he's her new adopted dad who's taking care of her and teaching her how to survive in this wild interdimensional rift of Wonderland, to where she's a grown bounty hunter and hunting him down, and kind of a little bit feral, just a little bit. And I I always kind of joke she's like that really hot chick with dreads from Coachella. Like, she's beautiful and a little greasy and kind of smells and might stab you, but it's going to be a hell of a time. And that's who she is. She's beautiful. She's
I relate to
dangerous.
that.
That's what Lori's husband thought when he was dating her. She might stab me, but I'm still gonna go.
Yeah, see how far it goes. And she loves to use her looks to her advantage as much as she can. She knows people are stupid. Why not take advantage of that?
It's one of the most fun I've had writing a character, because I can really have her do whatever, and it's never too weird or out of character because she's so wild. But also because we do all this timey-wimey stuff, I can come to Fish with a random idea, and he goes, "Yeah, we can put that in there because it can take place in this timeline or that timeline or this point in time." So when we tell these mini comics, which aren't mini, he's lying. They're small. They're mini in stature. Like,
they're shorter comics.
I send him an 8. He goes, "TS, will you write an 8-page script for this mini?" I go, "You got it. I'll have it done for you tomorrow." I send it to him. He goes, "I drew 27 pages, so we gotta."
It's 16. That's I doubled the size, but admittedly, like, when it got to this one point, and Alice and her friend, in my world, a little caveat for how the time travel and stuff works, to get around paradoxes and stuff. If you're born with this snow white hair like Alice and Rabbit have, that means that you're untethered in time. There are no other versions of you in the multiverse. There's no other variant of you in another timeline or another dimension. You're it. So you're basically kind of free floating in the multiverse. It's all of our variants that keep us like woven into the fabric of time. And so if time changes, it just changes around you and you can see it happen.
Oh,
so
that's terrifying.
So they can survive like going back in time and changing something, and then the paradox doesn't like destroy them and spread their molecules throughout the multiverse. So they can survive this kind of time travel. It's also the reason that like Rabbit's being hunted by the Nexus Order, which is this time travel cult, because they want to figure out how he survives and their soldiers don't, because they want to change time to the way they want it to be. And when he comes running by on the run and he sees Alice with the same hair, he's like, I can't leave her behind or they'll just take her. So he snags her up and runs with her, and then he can't find how to get her back home again. So like there's another kid that she ends up teaming up with in the mini comics named Buster, who's about her age and has stolen. She has a broken half of the sword. By the time Buster gets his hands on it, it's just the hilt with like a little bit of blade sticking out. And so he doesn't have nearly as good a control over cutting these portals as, say, Rabbit does. And so when he had this scene in the comic of them cutting holes and going through Neverland, which is called Neverland because there is no land. It's just poisonous clouds everywhere. And the lower you drop, the more you die.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So they open up into the sky and they're falling, and he's trying to cut a hole to get, towards the pirate ship.
One page. They fall through a hole, then the story starts.
And I was like,
how many pages is it now, Fish?
I don't know. It's like 5 or 6 now, because I was like, it'd be really funny to have him not have good aim and just end up popping around all over the place, trying to target and hit where he's supposed to go. And the bad guys like can't hit them because they can't figure out where they're going to pop out next. And it's just, and I wanted to show the difference between like when you know how to use the sword and get where you're going and when you don't. And so it's
all awesome, but I will tell you this, like when it comes to phoning in a script, I know that I can write half of it now because I know that Fish is going to double it and it's fine.
I will make it harder on myself every time. every absolute time. Like this didn't have to be a full page spread with I didn't have to make one of the main characters in the story a digital pixelated head that I have to, because of my OCD, do the pixels in, perspective wrapped around a cylinder every time. Like I didn't have to do that. I chose to do that. And now I have to stick to it because of my OCD.
I was going to say, I think that you do have to do it now, though, right? According to
now
the
I
rules of
absolutely
OCD,
do.
like that is now what you
Yeah,
do
you're
forever.
committed at this point. It
Yeah.
cracks me up because same thing. It's like when an artist comes up with this brilliant, beautiful concept with all these moving parts on a character, and then you're like, that's really cool, we're doing that. Then you realize like every other panel, they're missing a bracelet, they're missing a
Oh yeah. Like originally, my original idea for Big Ten had like half of his body was going to have these intricate cutouts in it that showed all the gears and stuff inside of his body moving and operating. And then I realized I have to draw that a million times from a million angles. So his design got simplified. And when I added him into this story the way I did, and because of the different realms in Wonderland, and there's Wild West and dinosaurs and sci-fi and stuff, I took some of the Western gear and as I was working through his character, now that he's in this world, I was like, he wants to fit in with the humans. So even though he doesn't have eyes or a nose or anything, he welded on a mustache and he wears the glasses and the hat and is absolutely convinced you cannot tell he's a automaton. Like he completely believes that he blends in seamlessly with the other organics and does not know that he doesn't, and Alice doesn't have the heart to tell him. And so
that's funny.
So I love the mustache too. Like when you you're like, and he's got a big mustache. I'm like, oh, okay, I get what this character is. Right.
Yeah.
But like Fish will not phone it in. I wrote a script about the scary mansion. I made it a scary mansion because I was like, it can change every time. He doesn't have to stress about the floor plan. It'll be different every time we see the inside of it. And he said it will not. And he drew up the blueprints and then he drew it from every single angle. He goes, this is how it sits on the street. This is the rest of the town that I also drew. This is the paperwork that's at City Hall.
So many Victorian houses and pieced it all together from these different ones and took the scariest things I could see from each one and the things that would make it a little easier for me to draw this crazy 3D house from all these directions.
And it's got to be on every other page because he spent 17 hours on it. It's only in one issue, but I'm like, this is now the whole book. Now the book has to be about the mansion because he spent all of this time on it. And so, and that's what he does every single time with every single one of these panels. So like, if there's anything that I can tell you is like, oh, buy the book, I wrote it. Buy the book because there is so much love in every single panel, every single shot that he puts into this thing. It's insane. And it's one of the reasons why I agreed to write it, because I know that he's going to put so much love into the stupid stuff that I come up with. And that like, it comes out like it's the most amazing thing ever.
That's
like
awesome.
I just thought for a second, like as I was thinking of mixing these characters together, and I took this character who's been in my D&D games forever and decided to make him the cobbler because the cobbler has elves, so I could make these little spider things, which to talk about these finger spider things in my D&D games
disgusting
is easy.
So scary.
Suddenly having to draw thousands of these spiders everywhere crawling over every surface is suddenly a whole different thing.
Like, why
But
did you do that?
you got to do what you got to do. Like, so, and finger spiders are creepy. So, I got to draw them and make them scary. And, and just having them everywhere is really interesting. Little quick note, you'll even find some on the minis because they go there in the first issue. So there's, little secret things to find on the miniatures when you get them.
Have you guys noticed the theme about the way these guys talk about this? They didn't skimp on this, guys.
Oh no,
Man! I'm all out on the creativity. They went all, and they're going all out on the cell. So that means, it's time. It's time for you to go back to the book. And you know what? I'm in the wrong. I don't know why I set this up in the wrong studio, but I'm going to move my studio real quick.
Look at that. We got 9 backers so far.
So I can find the thing I need, and then I'll play it, and then I'll go back. There it is. Just back it already. Just
That's what you need.
Right. Just back it. Do the thing. There we go. 9. Nice little start.
9 backers. That's awesome.
Let's get this thing going, man. Please share it out, guys. Share the link out. We dropped it in the chat over there. I'm going to drop it again. Share the link out. Tell the world.
Oh, yeah. Sharing is caring, man. Sharing is one of the biggest things you can possibly do because it is so hard to get the algorithm to show our stuff to anybody now because it's like, that's what you want. You need to pay us for it first.
Yeah.
But like, Aunt Susie can share it and get, 100 people to see it. I share it and I'm lucky if 3 people see it. So it drives me up the wall.
Shows. Look, I sat here and I probably made a whole bunch of people mad during the last 20 minutes or so because their notification went ding, 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 because I'm in all these different comic groups and I just shared this stream out to all these different comic groups. So sorry, not sorry if you're also in all those comic groups, but everybody should know. Everybody needs to know. Go check this one out, guys.
Absolutely. It's an awesome story. It's fun. It's sci-fi adventure. It's family drama. It's you got a big lovable automaton in there who's sweet and kind to everybody, but will blow your head off if he needs to. You've got a crazy, sexy lead character who's incredibly dangerous. What more could you ask for? It's
this one is definitely you, bro. It's like comics with Tourette's. It's going everywhere.
You don't know what's gonna come out. That's for
that
sure.
Should be your new catchphrase, bro. Fish League comics with Tourette's, right?
Yep. You never know what you're gonna get. That's for sure. It is crazy, but it is so much fun.
But it's beautiful, though.
It's got all the stuff from everything I love. Like one of my favorite things about Doctor Who is that they'll just randomly mention things along the way. And then 20 episodes later, that will be a really big thing. And like you will always be able to come back to the first issues and see stuff, 10 issues or 20 issues from now. Right. They're like, oh, that's who that is. That's what that is in the background. That's why that's there. And because it happened over here. And, and when
we're so nerdy, we do it with everything. We put it every single panel. Like when I wrote issue 2, I went back to issue 1. I'm like, how many things can I reference from issue 1? And then also what we're going to reference in issue 3. And we get so nerdy about this thing that we're making up as we go, but then also with all these ideas that Fish has had, and we throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. But because we're nerds and we're crazy, we still have the string theory. We have everything up, so everything connects and everything has a reason why it's there. And if it doesn't have a reason yet, we're gonna make a reason eventually, so it all ties back together. Because we're insane, and who needs sleep when you can write and draw comics? Like
exactly.
That's what we can obsess over.
Man, I really hate to do this.
Thank you.
And then Lori comes in with her puzzle idea and stuff and gets me all excited. And now I got to stick all kinds of extra stuff in there.
I had to sit there stressing over the puzzles. I'm like, okay, all right. So now we're doing an audio drama. Sure. Okay. So let me bust out this other notebook. All right. Fish wants a whole alternate reality game going on. All right. Let's look up ARGs. How do I do this?
All inspire each other.
Inspire is such a nice word. That is a really good word for it. I think stress would be the one that my doctor would use. I took a coding
hypertension might have been thrown around.
I mean, I do like the fact that you guys all push each other to greater heights, though. It's like everybody. There's that saying, "Keeping up with the Joneses," right? In this industry, you kind of got to. You gotta be flashy and you gotta out.
But that's the fun challenge of it. Yeah. Like not the I can't have Lori get anything. I need to beat her down so that I can have it. But like damn, she did something awesome. Okay, cool. How can I beat that? Like how can I do something that's gonna make her say, dang, he did something awesome. How can I beat him? And that's what makes it fun.
Drives us to such heights to push TS off of. That's what it does. Is like to make sure that we're very high up there.
When somebody sees a new idea like that, instead of being inspired to do something better, they want to go, oh, man, you guys out there doing that, and now you make the rest of us look blah, blah, blah. No, you make you look blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Okay, make yourself look better.
I'm just over
Like,
here in my
stand
own
up.
lane, having inspiration and making things more, like Fish said, more difficult on myself because I'm like, how can I
Yes.
handcraft more items?
She's
Mhm.
not challenging you guys. She's challenging herself.
Oh yeah, and
Stand up
that's
to that.
that's what
The
inspires
Don
me
Draper
and
in the
makes me challenge
elevator.
myself harder and
Exactly.
TS
We're over here
harder.
stressing about Lori, and she's like, I don't think about you guys at all. I'm just making cool shit.
Truth.
Now,
That is
I hate to
truth.
do this, guys, but I do got to go set Lori's show
Absolutely.
up. With Pilgrim
Yeah,
How
Rumble.
we
dare
gotta
you?
go.
Hold up now. This is what's going to happen right here. I'm going to go and I'm going to set Lori's show up on Pilgrim Rumble. Lori can go ahead and end the show here. No, she can't. She don't have. Yeah, she got.
I
She
do.
can end the show here, right? Lori,
Yeah.
make sure you
Yeah.
play the
Push the button.
outro, and I'll have your
Yeah.
show set ready to go.
Yeah, we got about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
What kind of kangaroo court is this? 4 minutes? I have 3 hours worth of notes that I was going to get into.
You're
I
gonna
have so
start
many
now.
questions.
Hey, trust me, Mr. Luther, trust me, we're going to have you on another show during the campaign. You'll have all the opportunity to talk about this as much as you want. I promise.
Thank you so much, Pops. I appreciate it.
You
And
guys
I have
can
one
always
last question
book to
for
come on the
you.
brew, but I'm officially booked out to November.
Okay, I have a second question
Of
for you.
20
How dare
what?
you?
Of
Go.
this year. What now?
Go. What do you got, Luther? Come on. Throw it
No.
at me.
No, that was it. How dare you? Where
Oh.
do you get off is the first question was what I was going to say. But that's okay. I appreciate you having us on and for letting me yap. I just write silly stories. Fish draws and comes up with all the cool ideas, and he drags me along to meet all of you awesome people, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so
It's
much.
great stuff. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again before this thing is over, and we'll probably set up some kind of a countdown party for you. You know,
Fine.
we do the
Absolutely.
thing around here. I'm gonna go set up Lori's show. You guys have a great day, and
Thanks,
I'll see
Pops.
you in 15 minutes over there on Lori's show.
Okay. I was like, usually I'm in the back studio about 10 minutes before the show just to make sure like the guest gets in and their audio and video works and
Hmm.
blah blah.
Oh yeah. And you never know. Like I was on my own show Friday and I had to restart my computer like
Yep.
4 times
Yep.
to get the audio and stuff to work. Like it just
Does that say
you
more
never
about
know.
the like streaming, or does that say more about you, Fish? Because
No, it's
like,
technology.
You just hush your furry little mouth, sir.
You know what? Funny story. I of course went to Free Comic Book Day on Saturday.
of course.
And I streamed last week, and then I was upstairs, like setting up the computer, and it says my microphone isn't connected, which is normal. It loses connection after I don't use it for a while, and I went to disconnect it and reconnect it, and the cord was gone, and I was like, "Am I losing my mind? Did I disconnect it and not reconnect it? Maybe it fell behind." So I tore apart my entire desk this morning, turned off the computer, it disconnected everything, couldn't find it. Hubs
That's
had,
the end of the story. It's just
Hubs,
gone.
Doggy.
Hubs had taken it to charge his PS5
okay.
controller, and I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
I got so scared. I was like, "Are they just going? Is it an epidemic? Am I going to be losing cords? Are there
No,
elves
he
taking?"
was like, "Oh, sorry, I was charging a controller."
I've
and I
had
forgot
some
to put it back."
disappear on me recently. I would not be surprised if they just started to snake away into the cracks and crevices and
It's
work
like
their
there
way
are
out
now
the door and
gnomes
be
in the
free in the
walls
backyard.
stealing all the cords. There's a story for you, TS. Write it.
Listen, if you
Gnomes
send
in
the
the
check,
walls.
I'll write it for you right now. Like, we can make this happen.
I got
can't
a
be
story
working
about
for free,
somebody
you
that
know?
keeps
Like-
mysteriously rolling over all my cords and crushing them in their office chair. I don't know who's doing it, but somebody in this room keeps ruining all my cords by running over them. And I've had about enough of it, is
It's
all
because
I
you
got
live
to
in
say.
the land of giants. When I met you at the con the other day, I was like, okay, so this is why everything gets broken at Fish's house, because he's fee-fi fo-fumming every single place he goes. Dude's
Everywhere.
9 feet tall. Like, yeah, how is
Yeah.
anything still alive in your house? Your
9
chair's
foot
gotta be working
4.5
really hard.
inches. Thank you very much.
I'm standing next to your wife and we're like little miniature people. I'm like, no wonder you wanted to have like tiny little spider creatures. That's what we are to you.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh my
You're all
god.
little creepy crawlies running around. Yeah, that's what it is. My wife's
Well, my
cute.
friends, it is time Let's say goodbyes. Make sure everybody knows where they can follow you. Obviously, everybody, please go to the Kickstarter. It is the most important time for a creator that you support during the campaign. We like when you come afterwards and buy things, but it's here that really makes the most impact. So we as independent creators can continue to give you top quality, new things, better things to read than you're going to find anywhere else. We are passionate and we are determined. So come support. Now I will shut up. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
GoMrFish.com will always take you to what I'm working on now, and now that is Alice Lost in Wonderland. So GoMrFish.com will take you right there. Easy to remember. It's like Go Fish, just throw a Mister in the middle, and you're good to go.
And go do that because he pays me to write stuff and I want to keep getting paid to write stuff. So please go and buy Mr. Fish Comics. I'm at TS Luther everywhere on all the social media, mostly doing silly dances on TikTok. You can go to my website, can'tbekilledcreations.com, and I make comic books for all sorts of people and places. Go to your local comic book shop and say you want the Digger from Invader Comics. That's my next big comic book. Please go do that so people stop going, who's TS? And they go, where's TS? I would love that change. Because I'm going to cry after this because people don't ask me enough. So
and of course I'm Lori Calcaterra, and I'm going to be live on the Tuesday Morning Brew like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. So come catch me there. I got a bunch of cool stuff I'm going to show off. TS, you're going to want to see what I'm showing off. I promise you.
All right,
promise you.
You want to prepare for what I'm going to want to do next when she shows us some cool news she's
You're
doing.
going to see a glimpse into your future. I'm just saying. So
well, thanks for having us.
Come over there right now, and we'll see you in just a few. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click